my public defender told me if I do not sign over my rights, I would probably never have a chance with my youngest daughter. So I did sign over my rights.
I want to tell you something that we've been talking about for a long time, and I've decided that we have to take action and we have to implement the plan. And this is basically a website that we're going to be starting to assist everyone throughout the country at the state and federal levels to vote. Not only to vote, but sometimes we'll be making recommendations with respect to different candidates. And of course, our recommendations are going to be based upon CPS issues, perhaps changing laws, perhaps voting in different judges, perhaps making laws at the federal level to address the concerns that hundreds of thousands of people have across this country regarding CPS and what's happening in these CPS courts. So stand by. We're going to have state voting captains. We're going to have county voting captains. We're going to have city voting captains. We're going to have regional voting captains, and we're going to have some national captains as well. So please stay tuned for more information about that, and please consider if you want to volunteer and help change laws. All right, let's take our first call. We have Angel from Illinois. Angel, did you have a story to tell or a question to ask?
Kind of both. I'll try to make it as quick as possible. Well, my case first opened back in 2018 due to the father of my kids who was at his cousin's house, and he called the police because he says he ran out of formula and diapers. So my kids went into custody for improper care plan and stuff like that. Well, anyways, I completed everything they've asked me to do. And the father, he was a little behind, and they didn't want me to be with him. And there was a couple domestics, so they didn't want me with him. So we separated, and I was staying with my parents for a while. And whenever I was pregnant, though, at this time. They let me keep my daughter when she was born because I completed a lot of things. And my other my older three kids I already had that got taken. Well, basically, they was about to come home. The goal was to return home. But then when they found out, I went and let the father see my youngest daughter. They let me keep when I had her. I basically had like a relapse. And when I went to court about my older three kids, my public defender told me if I do not sign over my rights, I would probably never have a chance with my youngest daughter. So I did sign over my rights, but I regret that. I did not know, what to do. I felt a little pressured. And the father, he signed over his rights as well because I did. I didn't know if there's any way, being I was not in my right mind. I already put a motion in to the court. He denied it. I told them because I was under the influence because I went back to drinking at that time. And she denied it. She said because I answered all of the questions correctly and stuff. But I feel I was not, I did not understand it all the way. Like, I did not understand that I could appeal it and all. I just didn't understand it all, and the father of my kids, we've gotten back together and he's done everything he had to do. But he's on disability too for intellectual disability. I didn't know if there's any way he could put a motion in to undo what he did by signing over his rights.
Yes. I'm a lawyer here licensed in California.
Uh-huh.
And, the questions that you're asking me are legal questions in Illinois. and I'm not licensed in Illinois. But if you were in California, the answer to your question would be yes. The father, I think, could do something if he got a lawyer. I think that you might be able to do something depending on how much time has gone by. But
Yeah.
that's such a drastic
This is
thing.
Aaron.
And if you made a motion and the judge denied it, hopefully you and your attorney, appeal that right away.
Oh, you gotta do it right away because I
Well, I don't know
did
what the
not
I
appeal.
don't know
I
what
feel
the
he's not working.
I don't know what the time limits are in your state, but in California it would have been like 60 days. But it's different for every state. I've heard 60 days in other states. I've heard 30 days. I've heard 20 days. I've heard a week.
Yeah.
I don't know if those are accurate, but you need to definitely get an attorney and find out, what you can do. I mean, that's so drastic. I mean, you know, and it's so almost underhanded. They from the very first day they made you or they asked you to sign away your rights. They're supposed to ask you to, or to offer you family reunification services, no matter what the problem is. You know what you might want to do. I hope you have a pen and a piece of paper. You know, there is a federal agency, the Department of Health and Human Services, that takes complaints with respect to these CPS cases. And DHHS controls all the money for the different states and counties with respect to their getting federal funds to operate these types of courts and, provide these types of services to quote unquote protect children. And they take some of these investigations very seriously. So I think that you should go ahead and try to make a complaint there. You can go online and make the complaint. And although I don't think that this was done just by what you've told me so far, and you haven't told me everything, but your civil rights might have been violated. So you might want to
Yeah.
call the federal agency, the U.S. Department of Justice, in your area, the Civil Rights Division. And from what I understand, somebody recently told me that in Oregon, so perhaps this is the same all over the country, that there are now small divisions or departments within the Justice Department and the Civil Rights Division that work on nothing but these cases, these CPS cases, because, you know, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of people complaining and feeling that their children have been stolen. Somebody's got to listen. So you got to make those
Yeah.
complaints. All right?
Right.
You know,
Okay.
go ahead.
Sorry. Now my youngest daughter, the one he told me if I didn't sign over my rights, I'd never have a chance with her. Well, I didn't know. We're going to trial now about her. We have like everything done besides this domestic class, but we are engaged. Is there any way at trial we'd be able to win being we're engaged in that class and we have everything else done and we've been
2 minutes.
sober, had a lot of drops clean and stuff?
Right. So the answer is, yes, but that's something you got to have to talk to your attorney about. You guys got to get together. You have to form a strategy, go over the story, go over the evidence, decide which witnesses you're going to subpoena to court, what exhibits that you're going to subpoena to court, and, come up with a plan and implement that plan. Okay?
Like character witnesses?
I don't know in your state about character evidence, but it could be just witnesses to different things. But you got to talk to your attorney.
Right.
Okay? Hey,
Yeah,
Angel.
my public defender, he said he's never seen anyone win a trial on this type of stuff. So I don't know if he's not working with me or what.
Yeah. Well, sit down and try to talk to him. Hey, Angel, I want to thank you for calling and thank you for listening to our show. Call us back in 3 or 4 weeks and give us an update after your trial. Let us know what's going on, okay?
Okay, thank you.
And don't forget the complaint with the Department of Health and Human Services and the U.S. Justice Department, okay?
Department, okay, I got the U.S. Justice System.
Department
of Justice.
Health and Human Services. Google.
Department of Health and Human Services.
That's right, Angel. Angel, thank you for calling us from Illinois. We're going to have to take our first break right now. This is The Secret, How to Fight CPS and Win. We'll be right back after these messages.